Hello everyone, this is Margarita with CityGal Papeterie. One of my goals for this year is to create and share more layouts. So you'll see I have all of my supplies ready for this layout, and I've got some music playing on the side. I've got my coffee ready on the other side, and I've already made a mock-up of what I want this layout to look like, and I gathered all of the elements that I'm going to be placing on there, including the photo. So I'm just gonna basically put everything together, and I have all the elements in this envelope. I have ephemera from different places, some scrap papers. I think I have some here from Paige Evans collection. What is it called? I'll link it below because I'm not gonna remember while I'm talking through this, but yeah, there's my title. I've already chosen that it's going to be My Girl, and then the photograph is of me with my rabbit. And then I'm going to be using this gigantic doily that I have a pack of from the dollar store, and then I just start to glue everything down, or in this case I'm using my tape gun. And like I said, I'll pull up a photograph in just a little bit of the mock-up that I did previously when I was gathering supplies for this layout. And I like to kind of, just when I have some time, go through my stash and grab pieces. I know some people create like kits to use. I usually just go by, layout by layout, and just gather stuff for that specific layout rather than create a kit for multiple layouts. And that's just how I like to do it. Every layout I do is completely different, and so it's just my preference to do it in this way. So right now I'm just kind of trying to pull up my mock-up that I did, and then I took a photograph, and then I put everything aside, and so this way I have something to work from. So I have my strip of paper there. And again, I'll just get all the names for the paper pads that I have that are available, and I'll link them below. This giant doily, again, was from the dollar store, and it did have a bunch of different sized ones. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm putting it the way that I wanted originally, which is actually underneath the paper strip. And I'm gonna adhere that down, and it does stick out at the top, so I do flip my paper over and then trim the excess of the doily. I'm hoping that I can share more layouts with you guys. Now I don't consider these tutorials, just because I'm not really like teaching anything. I'm just sharing myself creating different layouts. I'm not going by any like specific techniques or anything. I mean, if I do, I'll make sure to mention those. Here I'm just making sure I put my photograph where I want it to be. And then, so that also goes with brands or supplies. I am really bad at remembering names of collections and brands and things like that. So usually in my voiceovers, I'm probably not going to mention brands, just because I am not going to remember them. But either way, I will link below whatever I'm able to record or take note of later on as I find time. I'm using this branding strip just to frame my photo at the top and the bottom. And I did have a hard time tucking it under my photo there, and there's a little piece of the paper that is torn, but I'm going to be covering that up with a cluster, so I'm not too concerned about it. Some of the ephemera that I use, I've also either created myself a long time ago, or this one, for example, I got from a larger pack of ephemera that I purchased from AliExpress like ages ago. So I'm not sure like what the shop name is. I've also tried unsuccessfully to link AliExpress products. I don't know if anyone's got some tips for that, but I've tried to link certain items that I've purchased from AliExpress, and I haven't been able to get that properly working. I'm assuming I'm doing something wrong, so I'm not sure how to fix that. And so I do go ahead and add that little speech bubble on my photo. I moved it over because that's not where I originally wanted it to be. So I'm just referencing my photograph to place it exactly where I want it to go. And as you can see, because it's clear, I put my glue dots only behind the letters where it's going to be hiding. And then I have this little cluster that's made of an embellishment that I created in one of my old videos. And then this other little flower embellishment is it's an ephemera piece from that Paige Evans collection that I will link below. And so I just adhere that right down where I had it in my mock-up photograph. And I continue laying down my little elements and ephemera pieces here. That bow, that paper bow, is actually from an EK Success Tools punch. And it just punches out all of the separate pieces to create the bow, and then you just put it together yourself. And I'm gonna adhere that down with a glue dot as well. I tried to use my tape gun, but that did not work out very well. And then I add this little ticket right underneath the bow. So I've got a few things framing my photograph here. And then I add this little banner underneath the ticket. I really love the color combination for this layout. These are pretty much my favorite colors. I love that like pink, guava, like, you know, salmon kind of color, and then that aqua teal. I adore those two colors. I use them in almost everything. And so that little piece is also an ephemera piece from AliExpress. And then this flower is from, actually, I remember now what it's called. It's Whimsical. It's the Whimsical collection from Paige Evans' ephemera collection. And same with this little vine. It's also from the same ephemera pack. And I stick those down with some glue dots. And a little heart. And so, yeah, so this is pretty much my process for most of the layouts that I create. I like to kind of place pieces together that coordinate, and I create a little, you know, mock-up of how I want the layout to be. And I take a picture and then I set it aside. I do it with another photograph and paper and layout. And then I kind of just throw all of the pieces together, pinch them onto the actual background paper with a little paper clip or binder clip, and I throw all the elements together in an envelope, and then I just stack them up. I have a stack in my craft room where I have all these semi pre-planned layouts that just need to be put together. And so here I'm just creating another cluster. This one's going to have my little note card where I'm going to write my journaling. And that special note card is actually from a Vicky Boutin ephemera collection. I will link that below if I can find it. And then I add this really cute little tassel. It's a gold tassel, and that is actually from Stampin' Up. They were on sale and I bought several. I purchased several packets of them. And so I just placed that right in the corner at the bottom. and at the end when I'm done with my layout, I come back and I add my journaling. There isn't a whole lot of dimension going on with this layout other than like the little bow that kind of sticks up, the tassel, and maybe the twine, but there is a lot going on. So here I had some additional ephemera pieces that I wasn't sure if I was going to use, but I kind of leave it as is. And so now when it came to time to put my title on, I had a really hard time, and that's just because there's so much going on. And the stickers that I have here, the letter stickers, are really thin. So I'm afraid that I'm gonna lose them in the background. So I end up deciding to place them at the top over my photograph, but I may change that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep them there. I'm not entirely happy with it there. But yeah, so there was so much going on in this layout that I ended up having a hard time with the title. So I kind of in hindsight realized that I probably didn't need a title at all. I think it was fine. Even just the speech bubble that says "you make me happy" could have been sufficient, I think, for a title. And that's really because if you've ever had a rabbit as a pet, they really only like lick you when they're very happy with you and they love you very much. And so that's why I thought that little speech bubble was perfect, because she was giving me little kisses in the photograph. So here I take a T ruler and I'm just lining up my letters so that I can figure out where I'm going to place them with more clarity, because that release paper that I had was kind of covering my layout and I couldn't really see where I was placing my letters. So yeah, I struggled a lot with where I was going to put my title. I probably should have put it at the bottom, but I end up with this spot right here. And like I said, I may go back and either remove the letters altogether or just move the title. I'm not sure. At the end when I was done, the final result is not exactly what I want, but I can live with it for now. And yeah, so this is pretty much the end of this layout. That's like my final touch there, is just putting the title on there. I have another scrapbook layout video coming up, and I hope you like this. I mean, if you do, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you don't, what I could improve, because I don't usually make these types of videos very often. So if you've got any suggestions or comments or you know, tips, advice, whatever, I accept all of that stuff. So I just love hearing from you. And again, I will see you all in the next one. If you want to see more videos of mine, please subscribe and take care.